are the top stories of the news. Senate to hold emergency plenary session amid Electoral Act amendment protests. Gunmen abducted 9 Catholic worshippers in Ado local government area of Benue State. On the foreign scene, Russia says no date set for next round of peace talks with Ukraine. Good afternoon and welcome to Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. My name is Olufemi Alagbe. The Senate will hold an emergency plenary session today amid mounting controversy over amendments to the Electoral Act, particularly provisions relating to the electronic transmission of election results. The emergency sitting was announced in a notice issued on Sunday by the clerk of the Senate, Emmanuel Odo, following the directive of Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Although no official reason was given for the emergency sitting, the development comes amid widespread public debate and protest following the Senate's passage of the Electoral Act 2022, Repeal and Reenactment Amendment Bill 2026, through a third reading last week. The controversy centers on Clause 60, subsection 3 of the bill, which relates to the electronic transmission of election results. The Senate declined to approve a proposed amendments that would have made real-time electronic transmission of results mandatory, instead retaining the existing provision of the Act. In the meantime, a former Rivers State governor and ex-minister of transportation, Rotimi Amechi, today joined protesters at the National Assembly complex, demanding the mandatory inclusion of real-time electronic transmission of election results in the proposed Electoral Act amendment. In a video shared on X, Amechi was seen standing side by side with protesters, clamoring that their demands are met. The protest comes amid ongoing controversy surrounding the amendment of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill ahead of the 2027 general elections, particularly with whether the Independent National Electoral Commission should be mandated to transmit results electronically or real-time from polling units. On Monday, former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, had also joined the protesters, lending his voice to calls for electoral transparency and credibility. Demonstrators comprising civil society groups, youth organizations, and concerned citizens insist that the proposed legislation must explicitly include the phrase real-time electronic transmission to prevent any ambiguity that could undermine electoral integrity.
In Kano State, where we have these numbers of police here gathered, why the CIA report told us that we have about 370,000 police to guide 250 million Nigerians. Is this not a shame?
People are dying, they don't care. That day, Senator Akpabio will be in his mansion with police, with army protecting him, while people like us will be on the field. And they are rigging the election. But you know one funny thing? If you think they won't rig, you're wasting time. To stop them from rigging, we must come out in large numbers.
But do you see them? Do you see these people responding to this peaceful protest?
I don't know. And if it's Akpabio, I know. If it's the one I know, because we are governors at the same time, he doesn't think it matter. The problem is not even Akpabio. Even the president doesn't think the citizens matter. The only time the president began to react to insecurity was when Americans
involved.
The day the Americans said, oh, they are killing Christians, that's when the president felt his office is threatened. He doesn't care about Nigerians.
One would be tempted to ask them, for what is this protest? If they are not
okay, this is to make the mark that Nigerians must come out. You're right. What is the essence of this protest? We must go back home now before the election and mobilize ourselves in large number. If there are 300,000 policemen, bring out 600,000 Nigerians.
What are their own streets?
These arms, how many people will they kill? Nigeria international law tells you you can't kill. There's a number you kill becomes actually genocide. You're talking about genocide. This is Christian, but there's a number you are not allowed. I read international law.
Meanwhile, the lawmaker representing Bauchi Central in the Senate, Senator Abdul Ningi, on Monday said the Senate could make the adoption of the votes and proceedings on the electronic transmission of election results public amid ongoing controversy over the issue. Senator Ningi stated these in a news chat ahead of the upper chamber's emergency plenary session scheduled for today, following ongoing debates over the e-transmission of election results after the Electoral Act Amendment Bill passed the third reading at the floor of the Senate. Asked whether it was possible for the voting process at the Senate to be made public so that Nigerians could know what senator voted for or against the class, the lawmaker said it was possible, but it depends on the presiding officer. The federal lawmaker also expressed displeasure over what he described as the condemnation of the Senate in its entirety over the matter. So, security matters President Bola Tinubu assured Nigerians that his administration will conquer the threats posed by terrorists and bandits in the country. He made the assurance during his opening remarks at the ongoing National Executive Council Conference on Inclusive Growth and Sustainable National Development. The president commended several state governors, notably those of Borno, Katsina, and Kaduna, for their role in protecting the country's freedom and security. Speaking on his government's efforts to transform the economy, President Bola Tinubu said his administration is working to strengthen macroeconomic stability.
This will be delivered. And I'm living here again to further find means to strengthen our security forces, to defeat terrorism and combat it. That, I promise you, is what has kept all of us sleepless at night. But I assure you that we will win with determination and resiliency. We will overcome this unacceptable terrorism and banditry. It's not part of our culture. It's foreign to us. So it's an economic hindrance if we do not find immediate solution to it. I commend many of you, particularly the governor of Borno State, governor of Katsina, governor of Kaduna, and many of you who have done so much to defend our freedom, liberty, and our commonwealth.
In Benue State, gunmen have abducted 9 worshippers of St. John's Catholic Church, Ojije, Otunkun district of Ado local government area of the state. The victims were reportedly whisked away on Sunday during a vigil in the church premises. A former councillor representing Okwenyo Ward in the Ado Local Government Legislative Council, Emmanuel Uda, confirmed the incident on Monday. Speaking to newsmen, Uda described the abduction as a targeted and planned crime against the church, noting that people of the area were traumatized by the incident. He lamented that what he described as the growing sense of abandonment by government at all levels, even after many such incidents had been reported across communities in the state. Confirming the abduction, spokesperson to the Benue State Police Command, Udeme Edit, said 9 worshippers were abducted. She noted that the State Commissioner of Police, Ifeanyi Emenari, had a deployed tactical unit working with local vigilantes to track down the abductors and rescue the victims. Still with security, Governor Abdul Rahman Abdul Razak on Monday night convened an emergency security council meeting with heads of security agencies in Kwara State following the recent terrorist attack in Kayama local government area that reportedly left about 175 people dead. The meeting held at the Ahmadu Bello House in Ilorin was part of the state government's response to the incident, which has heightened security concerns across communities in the north-central state. Speaking after the meeting, Governor Abdulrazak said the session was aimed at reviewing the security situation and strengthening coordinated efforts to address emerging threats. He expressed optimism that the resolutions reached at the meeting would improve security and restore calm in affected areas. The emergency meeting comes amid intensified security operations in parts of Kwara following coordinated attacks in Kayama and surrounding communities. Security agencies have reportedly deployed military and police personnel to forest corridors believed to be used by armed groups. You're watching Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. We will be right back after this break.